Alright, and then I say hello and welcome back to a new episode of TENSHI 2. And here we go. Ah! Ooh! Several seconds passed as the girls groaned feebly. The trip through time had taken a heavy toll on them. Eventually, however, both Rose and Q began to force themselves up onto their hands and knees.
Ooh, Q, you okay? Oh, just fine, Rose. My boobies cushioned my fall. And I think mine are bigger.
Is that all you ever think about, Q?
I could get used to them being, like
Weapons of broad destruction? Look, we need to get moving. Don't know how long Bonnie and Rizuki have been here, but we need to be ready. Oh, I hear ya. I remember what happened the last time they got us by surprise. Gritting her teeth with effort, Rose pushed herself up on one knee. After a few deep breaths, she drew her sword and propped herself up with it into a standing position. Then, wobbling about unsteadily, she made her way over to Q. Again, using her sword for added support, she reached down and offered the smaller girl her hand. Q groaned as she and Rose worked to pull her up to her feet, only for Q to stumble back a step and almost fall over again. Hang on, I've got ya.
Ooh, thanks. Maybe high heels weren't the best thing to wear to the desert, huh?
What kind of absolute modern goes into a fight wearing heels anyway? I don't believe these tits. Hasn't she ever heard of a little something called practical footwear? Just as I was about to defend Q, I spotted another figure approaching. A figure I instantly recognized. Heels don't seem to be bothering her. Well. Look what we have here. And I was starting to think that we wouldn't have to deal with you this time around. Huh? Bonnie? Hello there, girls. You're a bit late to the party this time. Looks like we aren't the only ones who got bigger. Of course, we are a bit further back than usual, aren't we? At this, Q gave a flick of her feather duster, which immediately extended into a long whip that cracked with energy. But even as she took a battle-ready stance, Rose held out her free hand in front of her. Hold on, Q. Listen, Bonnie, we're not here to fight it out with you, not unless you force us. Oh, and what are you here for? To make a sandcastle? We want to talk. Look, I don't know how much you remember about how things were before, or much they changed. But we need to do this. We know the truth now. Michelle, she told us about your future and... Wait, Michelle? Has he gotten to you two already? I don't know any Michelle and I'm not in the mood to talk. Bunny grinned, wiggled and leaped into the air, completely unhindered by her own massive breasts. With a cry of battle, she flew towards Q, aiming her stiletto heels of her shoes at the whip wielder's head. Still off balance because of her huge bosom and shoes that weren't at all suitable for the desert, Kyu tumbled backwards. As Rose managed to intercept Bunny's kick with the flat of her sword. The blonde knight was able to repel the kick with a groan of effort, prompting Bunny to coil her legs and leap away from the sword. The rabbit-eared woman tumbled through the air in a controlled manner before landing on the desert floor, expertly adjusting to her heels sinking into the sand.
Rose! She doesn't remember what happened, or even Michelle?
I know. Time must have changed more than we realized.
What are you talking about?
Bunny, listen to me. We know what you're trying to do about what happened to your future. We know that you're trying to fix things, so why?
You again?
I winced at the sound of this familiar voice, and winced again when two more figures came into view.
Mizuki, and who's that?
That was a good question. We all watched as Mizuki appeared wearing the same ninja-style garment I had last seen her wearing, and holding the very same katana I knew she could wield with expert precision. Like the other girls, she seemed a lot bigger now, likely due to the extreme effects of long-distance time travel. And standing in front of her was a girl. One who I didn't recognize.
That girl is Egyptian. Are Bunny and Mizuki, are they kidnapping her from that time?
Sure, looks that way. It was clear things were getting more serious if Mizuki and Bunny actually removed this girl from her own time, depending upon who she was. I didn't even want to think about just how badly they could wind up changing the future. We better hope she's not even a blip on the time stream.
We don't have time to waste on you two right now. Hold them off, Bunny. I just need a few seconds. Right.
No, wait.
You don't understand.
In a blur of movement, Mizuki, what? Okay, that's just the star. I thought it would be something different, but I was wrong. In a blur of movement, Mizuki suddenly produced a series of throwing stars and sent them shooting towards Rose. The time-traveling knight gasped as she moved to dodge, but Kyu suddenly threw herself between the stars and Rose.
Kyu!
Astonished as I watched as Kyu thrust out of her gigantic chest and with expert precision engulfed each throwing star in her cleavage. What was that? Am I having a deja vu? I've been practicing that one. Unfortunately, this distraction left her wide open for Bunny, who launched herself at the maid girl and landed a crushing knee into her abdomen, driving the air from her lungs.
Kyu!
Rose whirled towards Bunny, her sword glinting dangerously in the brilliant sunlight. But before the knight's sword could strike home, Bunny bent backwards beneath the strike, her breasts seeming to bounce in triumph as the blade just missed her. Then Bunny dropped down and broke into a low spin kick that Rose just barely jumped back to avoid. While Rose and Bunny went into an exchange of furious swipes, kicks, dodges and counters, Mizuki was placing some kind of device on the Egyptian girl's back. The girl, native to her time, just looked around, unable to fathom what was going on.
What's up with that girl anyway? Why isn't she trying to fight back or run away or something?
She probably doesn't understand what's going on. You know how you can't see or hear Michelle? Yeah, so? Well, the same thing happens with time travel. When you go back in time, the people who actually live in that time can't see or hear you. Tessa obviously didn't believe a word of it. Meanwhile, Rose and Bunny were still going at it, and Kyu was slowly recovering. As for Mizuki, she was still holding tightly to the Egyptian girl when she pressed a button on the disk-like device she had attached to her back. An instant later, a familiar glow appeared and soon exploded into a hole of light that warped the very fabric of space and time itself, the future time window.
Time to put you to work for us, Princess Neferu Rey.
No!
The blue-haired girl brought what looked like a serving tray from seemingly nowhere and sent it flying towards Mizuki. Hissing in dismay, the ninja shoved the Egyptian girl into the fully open time window, who gave a yelp before she fell forward into the far-flung future. But since Mizuki had been focused on accomplishing her mission, she had left herself wide open for the flying servicing tray, which glowed a bright blue before striking the ninja in the side. Boink. The tray crackled with energy, causing Mizuki to cry out in pain before her clothes fell apart. Hissing in pain, the nude ninja then shot a glare at Kyu and managed a tiny tense smile. Nice try, but we've got what we needed. No! Bunny, have your fun, I'll see you back at. That was all Mizuki had time to say before her body disintegrated, falling into dust that mixed with the sand. Yikes! Did they just disintegrate her harsh? No. The disruptors installed in the girl's weapons were designed to disrupt the quantum shift that keeps a time traveler in the past once they're there. The temporal membrane anchors you in time, as well as rendering a person invisible to non-time travelers. When it's destroyed, the other girls are instantly sent back to their original time. Tessa looked like she was about to ask further questions, but at that moment, Bunny was leaping in for another kick at Rose. The eloquent knight's chest bounced as she jumped back, a step to avoid the strike, but as she gritted her teeth, her eyes seemed to round with inspiration. Then she grinned dangerously before she hurled her sword into the air. Here, catch! Huh? Bunny instinctively reached out to catch the sword, but the hilt before the disruptor-laden blade could strike her, which was all the opening that Rose needed to leap forward and tackle the taller woman. Oof. An instant later, both girls crashed down on the sands of Egypt, stunned by the impact. Bunny lost her grip on her opponent's sword, which went spinning into the air before coming back down, burying its blade into the desert sands. Not wasting her opportunity, Rose quickly moved to force her future adversary onto her belly. But the long-legged woman had already recovered enough to start fighting back.
Q, help! I'm not sure I can hold her myself. Ooh, I'm coming.
Q staggered over to the other two girls, thrashing about in the desert. With the two of them working together, it wasn't long before they finally were able to overwhelm Bunny and force her face down against the sand. Ah, didn't know that you girls like to play so rough. Bunny, this is no time for jokes. We need you to listen to us. Look, we know, okay? We know that the reason you're traveling back in time is to find a way to save your world from whatever cataclysm hit it. Bunny's eyes went wide with confusion as she angled her head back towards her captors. What? But how do you know about it? It's a long story, but the important thing is we understand why you want to help your time. But what you and Mizuki just did, do you have any idea what you've just done? You kidnapped someone out of time. You're already changing the past and have no idea what kind of consequence that could have. Yeah, we've seen what happens when you create a time paradox and it's really bad. If you keep pushing time around, who knows what might happen, especially with you messing with stuff so far back. A few seconds passed as Bunny considered her two advisories for a few seconds, just before she smiled dangerously. Well, looks like Mizuki called it. The way Bunny said those two words gave me a very bad feeling.
Wait, what are you talking about? And why did you kidnap that girl?
And I thought you two were so smart. If you were able to find out about all our future, all on your own. Bunny swung one of her legs as far out to the side as possible, just enough to strike the blade of Rose's sword. Then figuring out a simple puzzle like that should be no trouble. An instant later, Bunny's body collapsed into nothingness, leaving Rose and Q to hover in the empty air for a moment before slamming down to the ground. Boink. Alright, and then I say thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and if you liked it, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you don't want to miss any of the action, just click on the subscribe button, and next time you can already see it, we will be back in the time window room. And then I say bye for now, your pacemaker.